So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today I'm joined by Sylvain, and he's in the band Savage Lands, which is a new band, a project that it's very important because it's all about saving uh, the rainforests around the world, especially this project based mostly first started in 2022 for Costa Rica. But obviously, it's a project that we have to take care of the world globally. So I'm glad to have to be here to discuss this, very important topic. So, Sylvain, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm actually in Europe now, celebrating the Christmas and New Year's Eve with my family in France. So it's the evening for us.
Oh yes, it's evening for you. It's daytime here for me. But let's talk a little bit about Savage Lands because this project you started this project a few years ago. So you were so you live in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I've been living at least part of the year for the last 20 years in Costa Rica, and I was already doing reforestation stuff for a long time. I've been let's call it an activist if you want,
Mhm.
uh, since the late 80s. So it's something that is not new for me, but recently and after the COVID, it became a bit crazy in Costa Rica with the real estate investment and speculation, and so lots of destruction, and I would say the monkeys going away because the forest getting destroyed. And so I called Dirk from Megadeth. He used to be playing with me in the 90s in Europe. We had a band
Yeah.
called
He was
Artson.
also in soil work or is in soil
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah. He played in several bands. And yeah, it's just a coincidence. I call him and say, hey, would you like to start something with me and talk to the metal community and then start a non-profit organization in order to save the it's mostly the biodiversity. It's not only the forest and it's not only the
Mhm.
tropical forest. It's as you said, it's something worldwide. And actually we just opened a European branch, and we're going to start doing things in Europe too. But and yeah, he said, yeah, let's do it right away, And he found the name, and then we built this concept of mixing the power of music. It's really emotional thing. The music talk to people's mind, people's hearts, instead of telling them what to do, which doesn't work. We try to bring people with us on this project, and the music is one of the way to talk to people. So yeah, so we contacted a bunch of people, and Dirk is connected with lots of important and famous people, obviously, and they said, yeah, okay, let's go. And that's how it started. And then we have this nonprofit registered in California, and now we have another one registered in France.
No, and it's very important. And living here in Puerto Rico, I've seen how the big corporations comes and they want to like own things and destroy things, and they're basically destroying habitats for like here in Puerto Rico, like for a species, and like you said in Costa Rica, the howling monkey, which I've seen because when I lived in Miami, they had in the Miami Zoo they had a like four howling monkeys. So I've heard the howling monkeys. So but I didn't know they were native to Costa Rica or if they that's
Yeah, it's a monkey that is really common in Central America, and but it's common, so everyone sees them, and then they don't realize that the amount of monkeys is going down. We lost like 50% of the monkeys in the last 15 years.
yeah.
So you still see them, so you think it's okay, but
Because if
when
you're cutting out all the trees, those are their homes. You're
yeah,
basically pushing them. Yeah.
and not only the trees, like the electric lines, the cars, the
Mhm.
dogs, all the invasion of this habitat, and all the stress, the noise. For example, we have this stupid electronic music festival in Costa Rica now. It's like 5 days of nonstop house music, and they call it "Bring the Jungle Alive," and they're just killing it,
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
animals
I'm sure that
connect.
sounds like horrible for the animals.
No, the animals, they go away or they die. They become crazy. They become epileptic.
Oh
They
wow.
lose their hearing. It's completely stupid. But yeah, so you see a troop of monkeys, so you're like, oh, cool, there's monkeys. But the troop is like maybe 7 or 8 monkeys, and there should be 15. You know,
Hmm.
but people who are not specialized in this monkey, they don't know it. So they think it's okay because they still see the monkeys until one day we don't see them anymore. But it's not only the monkeys because everything is connected, so the monkey is a
Yeah.
symbol, but is something important is happening with the biodiversity, and that's what we're trying to um, raise our voice for, and we finance reforestation operations, and we try to make people understand that if they have a garden or a piece of land, it's good to put more trees, more species, so animals can come and live there, because humans are everywhere. So if you don't share the space with the wildlife, there's soon's going to be nothing, and then we're going to die too, because we need that.
No, yeah. And living here in Puerto Rico a few years in 2017 when we had that awful hurricane. Basically, we lost a lot of trees, and you could tell how important the trees were because it got like really hot. And for example, we saw a lot of like the honeybees. They were get like they didn't have where to go, so you saw them like near the gas stations. If people were like
Um,
drinking Coca-Cola and things. So yeah, it's very you. I think people take for granted uh, where we live, and I you've seen it. Like global warming is real. Every year, this hurricane season, it was crazy. Like we have like the biggest hurricanes forming, and that's part of that is that deforestation and everything that we're doing. So yeah, it's a very important cause. So you've been living in Costa Rica for 20 years. So that yeah, that must be it's you when you moved there. Is it when you got like more of like a sense of like what was going on there that you got more into activism?
well, I was already an activist in the 90s, and Costa Rica was more like a place where finally you could, as an environmentalist, you could feel good, because it's a country who's supposed to protect the nature, and where I live, it was, I had no neighbors, and I was like surrounded by forest and noises of the wildlife, so that's exactly what I was looking for. Um, and don't mistake I mean, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that, I came there, so obviously I built my house there, but there's different ways of doing it,
Of
because of
course.
course some
Yeah.
people, they go there, cut everything down, build a huge house, and they want a lawn and then two palm trees, the perfect Instagram stupid perfect image, that is not at all what you would need in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, if you go there, you want to see monkeys, you want to see birds, you want to see the animals. Otherwise, you go to fucking Dubai or some place where there's nothing to see apart from the commercial centers. Um,
Yeah.
but
No.
yeah, there's different kinds of people. Some people, they came to Costa Rica and they love it and they want to protect it, and so they bring more species in their property. And in a way, it can help, because Costa Rica came from 20% of forest only in the 80s, because they cut down for the agriculture, and we came back to 53% of the country covered by forest in two before COVID.
Hmm.
And then COVID came, and then the process of destroying and speculating and doing big development to sell to investors changed a little bit the situation, and that's why we started to act, and we act where it happens. We don't act remotely. We act where the pressure of the real estate and the speculation is very strong.
No, that's very important. I can relate a lot, living in Puerto Rico because we're a tropical island, but Yeah, there's they want to construct a lot of things here. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we need the green also. And the beaches here are like public domain, but there's bigger interest that they want to like make beaches like private, and that's
I
not,
know.
you know, beaches and then they build stuff. And for example, I think there was something here that a lot of activists were fighting against. You know, like we have the turtles that come and they nest, and if they don't, if they destroy that, they don't have where to nest, and
Yeah.
the turtles go back to the ocean. So yeah, it's everything's connected. So yeah, it's very important. But something that I want to add, because sometimes people think when there's like an album or music that it's about like a that it's about like, you know, like a that is for a charity or something, they think like the music is not good, and that's not the question. This album, it's a very heavy metal album, like because people think, yeah, they think maybe we are the world or stuff like that. No, there's no corny song on this record. There's some great songs here. Actually, my favorite is "The Last Howl," because you got
John
John
Tardy.
Tardy to that howl, and I've heard the howl of the monkeys, and he nailed it. It sounds
Yeah, I know.
great. It's a great music video, and I love it because when I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I used to go with my kids, and they love the howling monkeys. So that's a great song. The Last Howl, and obviously the music video. You give clips of obviously about things that we've talked about how the howling monkey population has gone down the last year, and how to where to do something, you know, to save and learn more about these animals. How great was to have John Tardy on that track in particular.
Man, it was great. You know, we already had to go from Andreas Kisser from Sepultura
Oh
because
yeah,
we
he's
met him
on that.
before, so he was on board like from almost from day one. And then, you know, I sent the music to Dirk. I had this idea, you know, about these riffs, you know, and I was
Mm.
like, yeah, I like it. What do you think? He's like, yeah, I love it. I want to record this song. And he's like, man, I hear John Tardy's voice on the riff, and but I don't know him, and I don't have his contact. So let me call. And so we called. I think he called his friend at Decibel magazine, and
Mhm.
he gave him the the email, you know. And then, you know, 24 hours after, we had a go from John Tardy. He's like, yeah, guys, let's go, let's do it. So it was pretty cool, you know. It was pretty easy, and his voice is more like, for me, it's an instrument, you know. It brings a color, brings a layer, and yeah, it was perfect to mix it with the Hollow Monkeys noise, you know. It was a perfect match.
It's a good thing he said yes, because yeah, it goes. And this album has a lot of like guest musicians on a lot of tracks, uh, and different styles. I think that I read that the good thing about this band is like you can play different styles depending on who's on the track, because you have a track like No Remedy, which I heard it and it gave me more like Alice in Chains type of vibes, like a grungier vibe to the track.
Yeah, well, you know, we didn't really uh, plan anything. You know,
Hmm.
we there's a bunch of people collaborating on this album. You know, there's the core band is Boone Etienne from Blackball Bay, a French band.
Hmm.
Um, Flo and in the drums, and Dirk also is collaborating with me on the construction of this music. But we all have different backgrounds and different influences. Like Poon is more on the hardcore side, but he also likes some progressive stuff, you know. And I'm more in the metal part, and also I love the progressive music. But also I used to listen to Rush, for example, which is not really considered metal, but it's very progressive
It's
and
Rush.
it's Rush, you know, it's only
Mhm.
one Rush. And then Dirk is really he knows so much about extreme metal. So, and you know, we're not young anymore, so we're not trying to do it better than another band or copy one band, or you
Mhm.
know, I take my guitar when something sounds good, I send it to the other guys, and when they say, oh yeah, it's inspiring, then we keep it and we work on it. And if they say, I don't have anything to add on this, and it just goes to the garbage and with no pressure, nothing. So we just let things go. And I guess the influences and the moods are different from one day to another. So yeah, you mentioned Alice in Chains. It's also a little bit of Deftones in this song, I think. No
Yeah,
Remedy.
it's very different,
Yeah.
especially having the female vocals there that you have with
From
Maria France. Yeah, it gives it like a different touch to it. So the lyrics on this record, was it a collaborative effort of the lyrics, like the guest singers wrote some of their lyrics? How did that work?
Yeah. There's really no rule. That some songs like John Tardy, he wrote his parts. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. It's really a collaborative and open project. The only thing that we try to have as the red line that goes all along the album is
Mhm.
that we try to have those sounds and this kind of arpeggios or chords that are not obvious chords. There's always some tricky sound or notes in the background, and we try to have something emotional. Every song has an emotional part, you know, even the more violent songs. And but yeah, the lyrics. Poon wrote some guests wrote some lyrics. Dirk participated too. We have a friend who's a good writer. His name is Ardag, and he wrote a bunch of things too. So yeah, it was a collaboration.
Yeah. And the important thing, this is a total non-profit project that is going to, help all the things that we've been talking about. It's coming out on February the 14th on Season of Mist. So let's talk about the album cover. I know you have it right there, but I'm going to pull it up here so we can talk because, the album's called, I haven't said the name of the album, Army of Trees. And obviously you can see in the picture, there's the bulk of a tree that has been cut. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration for what you wanted for the album cover.
Yeah, personally, I love simple album covers, like AC/DC, Back in Black, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Motorhead, No Remorse,
Mhm.
like something, boom, you can put it on a shirt and everyone remembers. And also we wanted to say something, because we're a nonprofit, but also we are the first nonprofit that is signed by a label. It's not a band
That
that
is
has
true,
been
yeah.
signed and then the band would give some percentage of the money to the nonprofit. No, no, no. The band is the nonprofit. So basically, when you listen to this music, all the money goes to the nonprofit. All the money goes to finance projects, sorry, in the forest. I think this is the first time that happens. And so, yeah, the trees that has been cut, this photo of the tree, it's the very first reason why I called Dirk, Sorry. I was hearing the chainsaw every day and it was driving me crazy. So that's basically, this symbol is really strong, I guess.
Yeah, and it goes obviously with the themes of the album, and that's the howling monkey right there, right?
Yeah,
Right
I mean,
in top
yeah.
of the name. Yeah.
Yeah. The inside the album, there's a hollow monkey, and yeah, it's a symbol because that's the monkey I hear. It's my alarm clock in Costa Rica. Every
Oh,
morning I hear them. So
I've listened to them, and yeah, they will wake you up.
yeah,
They have a distinctive sound. Uh,
really
so
loud.
uh, so
It's the
yeah,
loudest. It's the loudest animal after the blue whale. That's
it's very loud. Yeah, here in Puerto Rico, I listen to if you're near the mountain, you listen to a lot to the coqui frog,
yeah.
which some people find annoying because that's a frog that only lives here. I think they tried to take it to Hawaii, and people didn't like the sound, so they were killing the frogs. which for us, like
Yeah,
when I listen to that, I know that I'm home. It's like you get a, it's like the sound of home. For some people, it can be annoying but for me, it's the sound of home. So for you, probably the howling monkey is the sound of you
exactly.
associated with home.
Exactly. Yeah, that's and that's why, when you see them and you see that they're scared or they're getting angry, actually, they're doing this howling
Mhm.
when they hear the chainsaw and when they see the trees falling down, they watch it, they're just there, and they're like, they're really doing this noise because, you're destroying their food, their house,
Yeah.
the way they hide, their protection. So it's horrible for them.
No, yeah, no, it has to be, like you can relate to that. So one of you have another single, you have a few singles out right now. One that is like really strong, I think, is Out of Breath, with Chloe Trujillo and Lord of the Lost, and the music video for it is pretty self-explanatory of like the whole message of this album. Tell me a little bit about Out of Breath, because obviously without trees, we wouldn't be able to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. That seems pretty obvious, but some
Some people
people
forget
seem
that.
to, yeah, I guess they forget that though. So yeah, it should be obvious, but it's not enough yet. Um, yeah, a lot of the Lost, it's pretty cool. We met them at the Hellfest, and we told them, hey, we have this nonprofit, and Dirk is on board, and then they were like, oh man, wow, it's cool. And I'm like, do you want to jump in? And they're like, yeah, ask us whatever you want. So I'm like, okay, let's go. We have this song. Are you inspired? Do you want to be on this song? And then he wrote, Chris from Lord of the Lost. He wrote his part, and he did a great job, I think. And and then we asked them, to the video is kind of we made the video in 5 days, just before we released it. We
Oh
weren't
wow.
even sure that we would do it. They filmed themselves with the phone in front of a white wall, so we just did this digital trick to insert those images, and yeah, it's a pretty good surprise because this video was not supposed to. It was supposed to be a lyric video, so it's much better than a lyric video, and we're pretty happy actually. I think that's the the most successful single so far.
Yeah, I think it's got. I was watching the videos in YouTube, and yeah, I think it's got the most views.
No, no, no.
Uh,
The views on YouTube, not yet. I think on
okay.
Spotify and all platforms a lot.
Oh, okay.
But the comments on YouTube are really good, like it's like where are the haters? Please come back.
No. Yeah, what would someone be hating? Like no, we don't want to breathe. Like no, like, and I
No,
think
but I mean,
yeah,
no, but that's part of the game. That's part of the game. It's totally
yeah,
normal. We come out with this nonprofit, and we come out with music, and of course, as you said, some people will maybe not like the music. It's fine, it's art. You can like it or not like it, but you can also not like the music and support the project.
yeah.
It's a different thing. But yeah, no, that's just a joke. But we were surprised because there's basically just positive message on the comments on this song, so it's pretty cool. Sometimes it happens.
So, well, I'm used to different type of comments on my channel, but yeah, that's a great song, and the thing, like for being an album that has so many different people playing, it sounds very cohesive. Another song that I don't think it's out as a single, feature Alicia White Blues, from Arch Enemy, with Ruling Queen. I don't know if that's out as a single, but that one, she's got a really great voice. You got like an all-star of metal people
Yeah.
on this project. So,
Yeah, yeah, this one is coming out with a video alongside with the album release, so in February. And it's a pretty cool video actually. We shot it in Costa Rica, and it was tough. We shot in the jungle, rainy season. It was
oh
quite an
yeah.
adventure. Yeah, with Alisa and all the guys from the band. So yeah, it was pretty intense, but very, very cool. And yeah, it's a man. She's a pro. when she comes, she said, okay, I agree. I like the project. I want to do one song. Send me what you have. And she says, if I do it 100%, and I will support the project, not only one song and then I'm gone. No, she's really into the cause. But she's a fucking pro. She actually, the story, we changed the album release date because she did a recording, but she didn't send it because she wanted to do better. And she
Oh,
said she
wow.
was too busy. She was too busy and she wanted to do it properly. And she asked if we could postpone, so we
Yeah, because
did.
she was recording, because I know Arch Enemy has a new
Yeah.
album next year. So she
Yeah.
was probably, yeah.
She's
No,
super busy. But then she recorded it and she sent what she did. And it was like, you know, the best, So you can't say anything. It's she's a pro. Same for the video, same for everything. She's a very, very dedicated and professional person.
no, yeah. And it shows. And so the album, is going to be out February the 14th. And I'll post the link for people who want to pre-order the album or obviously uh, donate to the nonprofit, which they can donate at https two dots underscore slash slash savagelands.org/donation dot slash. That's correct. And I'll post the link for people who want to donate there and know more about Savage Lands, the first band that is a nonprofit. So that's a first. And yeah, great idea. So I'm glad that I'm able here to talk to you and promote this project because it's something that we need to save the biodiversity. Here in Puerto Rico, we've seen it. We have, I don't know how much you know about Puerto Rico, but we have like there's bioluminescent bays. I think there's a few in the world, and Puerto Rico has two. But unfortunately, there's one that because there's been so many boats and things, it doesn't glow as much as it did. But we have one in the island of Vieques that I think is the brightest bioluminescent bay in the world. So
I
important.
haven't I haven't
Yeah.
been to Puerto Rico. I know I have some friends who go there because they surf there. Some
Oh
friends
yeah.
from Puerto Rico, actually. Yeah, yeah. But no, I've never been there. But yeah, I mean,
I haven't been
there's
to Costa Rica. That's a place I want to go to Costa Rica.
yeah, well, you can you just let me know. You come to my place, and man, biodiversity is the next big thing. People talk about the climate change, CO2, whatever, but the thing that is going to be like really, really, really radical, and that's going to affect everyone, is the collapse of biodiversity. And it's happening. But the good thing, it's not like climate. When you act for the biodiversity, you get results pretty fast. You've seen that during the COVID. You would get
Yeah.
animals in the cities, birds would come back. So actually, if you really act, if you really do something, even in a small garden, leave half of your garden a little bit wilder. You get more animals, more insects, some small mammals will come, birds, and it's. I mean, I encourage people when they can to experiment that because not only it works, but it brings services to humans. We work with scientists and they explain that when you have a healthy ecosystem around your place, it gives you more, like if you have a forest, you have more water penetration. So when there's crazy rain, instead of having mud everywhere and water going everywhere, you have better penetration. And then
Yeah.
animals, like in Costa Rica right now, we have a problem with ants. The houses are full of ants. But why? It's probably because there's not enough of the animals that are eating the ants. And so people would put chemicals and kill the ants, but it doesn't work. And also when you put chemicals, you kill other animals. And so it's a vicious
And
circle.
it hurt yourself, and those
Of course,
chemicals hurt
yeah,
you as well.
exactly, yeah. But the healthy thing would be to stop having a lawn and just two palm trees, the picture that I said before. If you have a little bit more of a forest and a healthy ecosystem, probably you bring back the animal that is eating the ants, and the balance is getting back to normal, and
Yeah.
you have less ants in your house, and it's better for you and for everyone, So it's something obvious that we have to relink, we want to relink to nature. It doesn't mean you have to live like crazy hippie, but just,
No, no.
get a
Just
little bit
respect
of a
nature.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a connection because we are part of it, So it's stupid to disconnect.
No, yeah, I totally agree, and yeah, and we need to, we all seen the changes that happened, and yeah, when COVID happened, yeah, that's the thing. Like even in the oceans, like there were sharks were coming back, sharks that like bigger sharks were getting near the because there were people there, so yeah, it was like a self cleansing. The earth was self cleansing, so we need to learn about that. So what's next for the band when you put out the album next year? Are you gonna do shows like what do you plan to do with the like some live shows for this project?
Yeah, the important thing is, well, we played on the main stage in Hellfest in
Yeah,
June this
that's in
year.
France. Yeah,
Yeah, and the thing that people have to know is that we're not going to tour like a regular band because we're not a band. So
exactly.
when we play live, it is because we have a deal, a
Mhm.
support, a collaboration, or donation, whatever, from festival. Like they say, okay, we're going to work together, and then the band is playing because it's the non-profit, it's not the band. So if somebody sees us live, he can be sure that it will bring results on the field, because it's not just promoting a band and using environment to promote a band. It's
Exactly.
the other way. So yeah, we want to play, but we want to play in places where people want to get involved, like Hellfest. They are getting involved for the next 5 years. They do a donation every year, a big donation, So we start to build forests in France. So we can do that anywhere. The concept is cool. If there's a festival wherever and the person wants to do something, they just call us, and we try to find something cool that they can share with their audience, and we build it together and we play.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, no, but yeah, that's a great idea. And yeah, you're not playing just to play, you're playing for a cause. So
Yeah.
if you're playing, that the money will go for the diversity and and reforesting, which is very important. Like if we're cutting trees and not planting new ones, that's hurting us
Yeah.
in the long run. So yeah, so Sylvain, I want to thank you, for taking some time of your night, and especially here in the holidays, to talk about this record. So anything that you would like to say to the people before we go today?
Well, I'm super happy. This project is it's I was out of the music for a long time, and I jumped back because of this project. And I've met so many cool people, like artists, the audience, magazines, medias, like you, and it's the first time that I feel like people are happy about something that is happening. We had this booth in the Hellfest, and people came and they say, "Oh, that's cool," because we needed a project like that. So it gives us a big responsibility, and I talk about it with Dirk. He's really emotional about it because the feedback is great, and that's probably the first time in my life that I'm doing a project where the doors open faster than they close. That picture when you try to do a business, you try to meet people and you
Yeah.
never get a meeting. You say you're calling many times. In this project, people want to talk to us. People want to participate, and a small participation or a big participation, it's not important. The thing is, we want to create a movement because we think the metal community is one of the greatest communities, because the metalheads, they do things. They don't just listen to music. They have a
Of
band.
course. Yeah.
They organize a concert. They do things together to build something around this music. So I think it's a great community to start a project like that with. And for this, I'm really thankful, and I'm looking forward to the future, because I'm sure it's gonna give us new ideas, and we're gonna do things together with the medias, the audience, and other artists. It's already starting now, so it's pretty cool. So thank you for having us.
No, thank you for your time. So yeah, no, it's and also for the people listening, the music is great. Because I don't know why people are afraid when they say like, oh, if it's for a cause, like the music is bad. No, because we are the world. It had a good message, but it sucked. The song sucked. But this is cool music, good music for a good cause, and a lot of like great artists are in it. So I want to thank for taking some time to chat with me from France here to Puerto Rico. So people, February 14th, Savage Lands, Army of the Trees will be out. I'll post the link for people who want to pre-order and donate. I'll put all that in the description box. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.